Hi, everybody.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember. Hi, guys.
Welcome back to the Unbuttoned podcast.
Yeah, we had to take a little hiatus last week because our week was actually insane. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about, just the insanity of the holidays and trying to balance and how hard it is as a mom.
Yeah.
And
a mom in retail. And
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
for everyone,
I was going to say,
honestly.
honest to God, for everyone, December is just
Yeah.
insane.
It's madness.
Yeah. I mean, add on just like the holiday spirit
Yeah.
and sickness and
Yeah, all of our kids have been pretty sick on and off for 2 weeks. So throw that into the mix
Yep.
of trying to balance everything that we have going on.
yeah, they've all had the stomach bug.
Yeah.
Our other child, Savannah, has also been
Sav's
sick.
been so sick. I was joking yesterday because whatever she's had sounds exactly like what Benji, my 7-year-old, has. And I was like, Sav, did you and Benji make out?
It's like Benji's dream.
He had his Benji's dream.
He'd be like, oh my God, I'm so cool. I made out with her.
Yeah, she's been down for the count. There is something weird going around. But yeah, that just adds a whole another layer of like stress to trying to like get through these few weeks.
Totally. I mean, these few weeks are so hard in general.
Yeah.
But I think it's also what we want to talk about too is like, obviously everybody has a different level of like how they celebrate the holidays,
Yeah.
how they get through the holidays, what they do.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, everyone's is a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess let's first start with what has been crazy on each of our ends.
Yeah.
And then we'll go dive into how we've kind of like tried to recover.
Let me pull out my scroll.
Yeah, I was just say, wait a minute. Pull out my 10-page book.
I mean, honestly, I think the craziest thing for me has just been work. Like, this is like our really, really, really peak time. And like we hit the actual peak last week, I feel like. And now, now we're kind of like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But November is insane between all the buildup of, we had probably our biggest drops ever the past month, like close to 30 items where we're usually closer to like 15 to 20, which that adds a lot of work.
It sounds like, oh, okay, it's 15 products.
Yeah.
But like you said, it adds a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's 15 more products to shoot, to edit, to add, to...
Yeah, to market.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like everything.
A lot. Yeah, so the sheer volume of our drops has been huge. And then prepping for Black Friday weekend was huge.
Yeah.
We decided to do a 12 days of Christmas right now.
Yeah.
Our holiday party was last week, which ended up being amazing, but
it was so fun.
It was
That's
so
the thing.
fun.
It's like we're obviously grateful for everything that the holiday brings. Like we were saying, more products, more this, more that.
Yeah.
It's all great stuff.
Yeah.
It's just time. We wish we could pick time off of a tree.
After the party last week, I texted these guys. I'm like, it always amazes me how we can rally and pull the things off that we pull off.
Yeah.
Because, we were literally like calling a rental company earlier in the week, trying to rent more racks to be able to put more up. But then that also means, most of our stuff is binned in the back right now. So that means we had to buy more hangers.
Yeah.
And we literally bought them the day before.
Yeah.
And we had to hang 3 times as much that we normally do. But it was worth it. It was so much fun, and we had a great turnout, and we obviously love those events, but it also is a shit ton of work.
Yeah. It's always worth it.
Yeah.
We always have so much fun. We love seeing everybody there. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I've shared this on here before, but I have learned that one of my like limits is December pop-ups.
Yeah.
And so I knew that was the only December pop-up I was going to be partaking in. So I was like, okay, I got to bust my chops here because I got to pull my weight on this one.
Yeah.
But right after the party, my youngest got sick with the flu. And then my oldest got sick with the flu. And then my
Hunter
oldest
went
hurt
out
his
of town.
leg. And my husband's out of town for a week. It's just a lot piled on at one time when I was like, oh my God, I was really trying to bust ass for this one.
Which you did.
Which it all worked out and it was fine. But just a lot.
Yeah. I keep telling myself, like, all 3 of my kids are homesick right now and Sab's been sick. I'm like, I just have to stay healthy till Saturday because we have an event on Saturday.
Yeah.
And after that, like, then this always happens. I feel like my body just like knows when it's time to shut down, and I'll probably get sick next week, knock on wood. But you've had a week, and being on your own with sick kids and during this time of year is like a lot.
Yeah. Although I'm not going to go to the pop up this weekend because, like I said, I usually only agree to one in December. But I'm hoping to like relax a little bit so that I don't get to that point.
Yeah.
And just like you said, like that's the reason I decided to do that because there was 2 years ago where I truly hit a point where I was like, I am bedridden.
Yeah.
Like everything just like caught up to me at once. I got sick. The kids got sick, you know.
Yeah.
And I just...
You were so sick that year.
I know. It's awful. It kind of reminds me of how Sav is right now.
Yeah.
It's just like horrid. But nonetheless, we're all trying to like create holiday spirit for the kids.
Yeah. I feel like that is a really good tip for people who are feeling like the pressure to try to balance doing so much is like just giving yourself permission to say no to some things, which I mean,
it's not easy.
So hard. Yeah.
And especially like for us with being a team, like I feel guilty saying no because then I'm like, okay, well, when I say no, somebody else has to say yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it just feels unfair. But at the same token, I just know that it's like the one thing that I have to stick to every year.
Yeah. And I mean, we all step in those moments because we all have those moments.
Totally.
You know? So no reason to feel guilty.
No, but it's still one of those crazy things.
Yeah.
And, you know, between all the like sickness, this and that, there's always the like elf on the shelf, the wrapping presents. My mom was going to take the kids to this little like show on Saturday that she got them. And of course, my oldest had the flu. Yes. So I ended up having to go to the show with my youngest. And I was banking on that day to like wrap all my presents and everything. But I'm always curious to know, I was talking to a friend and she said that she wraps the presents as they come in.
Oh, that's
She's like, as I get it, I just wrap it. I don't know they're wrapped. I'm like, oh, wow, that's actually really smart. I store them all away.
Yeah.
And then wrap them all at once in a tizzy.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
But
my parents used to do it all on Christmas Eve after we went to bed.
Oh my God.
They would like make White Russians and they would stay up all night wrapping our presents. I remember like...
Kind of a fun tradition, but whoa.
Yeah, I know. We were just joking the other day about how meticulous my dad was about like how every present overlapped perfectly a quarter of an inch. Like, I mean,
oh my God, he should see my wrapping. It's not
Oh,
bad.
I know. Me too. But back to that subject of like saying no, I feel like that's also something that like I've tried really hard to apply like socially and like with like family events too. Like, I don't know, like to your point, you reach this breaking point sometimes at this time of year where it's like, this isn't what the holiday season is supposed to be feeling like. Like it's supposed to be a time of like spending genuine time with your family and enjoying it. But like if it's just starting to feel like everything is a burden, like it's probably time to start saying no. And you feel like an asshole, but I feel like the older we get, the more we all get that, you know? Like, I don't know, if somebody bailed out of something because they said like, I'm just literally spread too thin and I'm going to have a mental breakdown, I would be like, please do. Yeah. You know, like, please sit this out because...
But easier said than done. It's like, of course you want to...
And I get FOMO too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, not only do you like... Yeah. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
That reminded me, I don't know why that reminded me, but I was thinking about, I just saw this meme and it said something like, now as an adult, I'm realizing where the Griswolds went wrong. They invited both sides of the family for 10 days before Christmas to their house. I'm like, oh my God, my heart's palpitating thinking about it.
Yeah, I do feel really lucky that we don't have to like travel during this time, like somewhere far to spend time with family. Like my parents are just in Dayton. They're an hour away, and Peter's parents are right down the street. His sister is in Denver, but his parents go there for Thanksgiving. And then we try to do either they come here, or we go there like some other time of year, because again, like for them to bring their 4 kids all the way here around Christmas, or for us to bring our 3 all the way out there, like it's just not realistic for anybody. Yeah. There's just too much stuff going on. But I do feel for people who have to like travel.
My in-laws are about 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's a stay overnight.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot.
I mean, it's always fun, but it's a lot.
Yeah. To pack.
We do keep Christmas morning at our house no matter what. Yeah. And then we go after because it's just too much to take everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still always just, you know, a lot. Although this year we're going on a vacation after Christmas. And I'm so excited because I'm like, I feel like this will be a good little pause and, you know, break from reality, which is good.
It's the best.
I know.
You mentioned Elf on the Shelf. Like, I just don't do it. Like I just don't. And I feel like,
and I don't think there's
know.
anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
We just hide ours. We don't do like
the whole thing,
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And
Which
the kids,
also no judgment if you do.
I think it's great. That's what I was just going to say. Like,
do more, but like in this season of life right now, I can't even trust myself to remember to like get it out. Like I forgot we even had one until somebody mentioned it
every single
recently.
night. My husband and I are nudging each other in bed. Like, did you move the elf?
Yeah.
No, did you? I'm like, oh, you go move it. It is a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
But the kids really like it. So we've agreed to just like move it and hide it. And that's sufficient enough for them for now. Every once in a while, if I'm feeling like I've got extra time, I will do like a cutesy little one. And I love the idea. I think it's great. Like whether people do it or not, I don't think there's any judgment either way. But, you know, it's just an added like layer to things. But like we were saying, you were saying your dad meticulously wrapping made me think again. I'm like, it's always so interesting to see how people do things different. Like some people are so meticulous. Some people don't wrap Santa gifts. And some people do. Like some people don't label Santa and parent gifts.
Yeah.
And we don't
started to do that just as the kids have gotten older.
Yeah. And I was just this year thinking like, oh, we probably should start that. I mean, my kids are so young that like they can't read it anyways.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hand them a gift and they open it.
Right.
But I'll be curious to see what we kind of like take on as they get older.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, our oldest like made a comment about something about like along the lines of like, well, how come I got an iPad and so didn't? And that's when we started to make the big gifts from us.
Yeah, which I think is a really good idea.
And a handful of smaller things
from Santa.
I
think it's really smart.
And I didn't grow up like that. Like everything was from Santa and my mom's handwriting.
Same. Same.
You know, but I do kind of like that it makes things a little more like
level playing field. So when they go to school, it's not like, wait.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we'll eventually probably do, like big gifts from us.
Yeah.
And then, you know, little things from Santa.
Yeah.
But like I said, my kids can't read yet. So I'm like, we're still in the clear. And then some people don't wrap their gifts, but I'm like, my kids are more excited about unwrapping the gifts than probably what they get. So that's why I'm like, I
thought
do
about
wrap.
that so many times because it feels like just so much work. But I do feel like coming out on Christmas morning as a kid and seeing all the gifts wrapped and slowly unwrapping each one was so fun. So I still do like to wrap.
Okay, that leads me to my family always did like you kind of go in a circle, like you open a gift, then you open a gift. And you,
God.
Or was it like everybody got to open at the same time at your house?
I mean, I feel like they kind of tried that, but it never like actually worked out. We all were just like too excited.
Which is, I feel like, why my mom tried to do equal number of gifts.
Yeah.
And some people do like equal budget of gifts. Some people do like, it's so interesting to see. I try to just, I don't count them, but I try to do like eyeball, like, pretty-ish even.
Same.
And honestly, because my boys are so close in age, we do a lot of like, this is for both of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Laura was just saying last weekend that her mom was like texting saying, okay, I need $36 more for you. Like she's really meticulous about the exact amount she spends on everyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I respect that.
My mom's a little bit like that.
I respect that. Yeah.
Like she'll be like, I need something small for, you know, X, Y, and Z. But
yeah,
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I also feel like, and maybe I will get to that point, but like as the kids get older, but I'm like, it's hard right now for two reasons. One, Mason's birthday is days before Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, he naturally gets more things. And two, it's like,
man, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the things that, like they want, like we're asking for like a football, this, that. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that costs like $5 at Walmart, which is great. I mean, I'm all about it. So I'm like, I can't really go by like price or then I would feel like, quote unquote, guilty for not spending as much on one kid. But I'm like, that's what they want. That's, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've pretty much given up on like the pressure to be like the Pinterest mom around this time of year. But I do feel like that's a very real thing still. I've just like, I just have accepted that. And maybe eventually I'll have more time to like get excited about that kind of thing. But I just have given myself permission to not put that pressure on myself anymore and find ways, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like there for a while when I was like blogging, I felt this pressure to like document all these like super Pinteresty fun things that I was like doing. Yeah. But I like took a step back at one point and I was like, I'm not even enjoying this with them. Like, I'm more caught up in like, you know, having the idea and getting the content. And like, it was just almost like, you know, fake, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what I was just about to say.
And they don't enjoy it when I'm like that. I'm like, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up.
And I'm like,
I have to get the picture, you know?
Yeah. Like, that's stupid.
I'm like, no. So yeah, that was definitely a real thing for me a while ago.
Somewhere in the middle. Like, I really do like the holidays, and I love like
I do
creating a fun environment. But if I know it's something that's going to be just for like show, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
We did like make gingerbread houses when my sister brought her kids over, and like we honestly let it be a free for all. Like, I mean, there was stuff everywhere. Yeah. The houses were everywhere,
which is so freaking hard. And I still have a hard time.
My
with
sister
that.
and I made one, but I was like, this is how they're enjoying it, and we're enjoying it. Like,
totally.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, one candy cane on the front. You know, I'm like, that's not fun for them.
It's so hard for me to not be a control freak with like messy things like that. I'm like,
but we like got out a card table.
Yeah.
We put it, and we were like, it's cleanable. Like,
totally.
Everything, the sprinkles are vacuumable.
Totally. Yeah.
So we did that. And like I said, we'll do a few things. We'll go see Santa and whatnot. But like, I try not to put the pressure of like playing the competition game of like, oh, this mom did that or this. You know, it's like,
because it's easy to do when everybody is like sharing all their decor and all their cute cookie nights and all the cute things they're doing with their kids.
This year, I feel like it crept up on us because
it did.
Saw this really cute idea for decorating the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, I mean, we have like a week and a half.
It's because Thanksgiving was like late. So then like literally after Thanksgiving, we had Saturday, Sunday, and it was December.
Crazy.
Whereas normally we have like a few days before that, which also made it hard for us.
Yeah.
Because Black Friday weekend was like later. So then Black Friday weekend, but up to December, which was like, again, like such a shitstorm, like all at once. Yeah. But we made it through. We made it through. And
I was just thinking about, again, how we were talking about how we grew up, like either how we were opening gifts or whatever. Yeah. And I vividly remember as a kid, we would all wake up, but we'd have to wait at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And my dad never drank coffee except for Christmas morning. And he'd be like, wait, you guys, you got to wait. I'm making my coffee, until he got his coffee, and he put the big old camcorder on his shoulder.
Oh, I miss the days of home videos.
Me too. Hunter and I actually have a shared album that's called Home Videos, and we'll like drop videos. Cute. But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Because they're like little snippets where like our parents would put the camcorder on, and I mean, it'd be like an hour or longer of just footage rolling.
I know. And those are all the cute moments. Like when you don't have your phone out.
Yes.
You know?
I did put my phone on a tripod and record Christmas 2 years ago.
I think I did that too, actually, but I don't know where the hell that video went.
I was going to say, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just different now, but I miss that aspect.
I do too.
So I'm like, you know, we were saying like we try to, you know, make cookies before, like try to start little traditions like that. Because I'm like, while we may not record it all, like our parents did and be able to watch it back, I'm like, those are the things that you like you remember when you're older.
Totally.
And it was just, my younger sister used to wake up so early and
I
wake
was
everybody
up all night. I like, we would just be up all freaking night. I don't think that we would always have a sleepover on
Christmas Eve.
Same.
We would decide whose room we were sleeping in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that stuff is fun. Like,
so fun. Those were the days.
I know. That's why I'm like, I want to like, it's so funny because my neighbors and I, we always say we're trying to create a 90s childhood for our kids. Like we, you know, have like random block parties and things like that, because I'm like, those literally were so fun.
And again, that was before our parents had the pressure of Pinterest or social media.
Totally.
Like to truly think about that. Like that was present, like really joyful memories as kids. And that's kind of like what I was getting at. Like, I just feel like I was so consumed in the social media pressure at a certain time, and being able to let that go and just like let it kind of happen how it happens, and like just make it magical, whatever that means. Like you said, like just letting them make a freaking mess out of their gingerbread kit. Like you don't need a perfect picture of the finished product, you know, or even a picture of them doing it at all if you don't want to, you know?
Like if you happen to snap a picture, fine. But like if you don't, you remember it happened, and so do they. And it's like, it's hard though, because of course I feel like our parents' version of like recording everything is our version of taking pictures of everything. Like that's how we're gonna remember. And I'm so afraid to like miss a memory. But then I have to peel myself back sometimes and be like, but I'm here.
Although it's interesting to think about that because their motivation behind doing it was never to have it be seen by anyone but you guys. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like it was solely for the purpose of your family
Memories.
watching it. And honest to God, my family loves watching them.
Same.
Like there's
Same.
nothing better than watching home video.
Same.
And I think that's where I get sad because I'm like, I want my
I
kids to have
know.
that same, like,
I know.
there is nothing better than going back and like giggling about, we were laughing because my niece was like pouting about something at Thanksgiving and we were like, oh, it's just like Megan when we were dancing around the living room in that home video and she storms off. And it's so funny because we remember those things. And you're right. It was simply for your family to watch, which made it even cooler.
Yeah. I also feel like on the topic of like balancing this time of year, we did a girls trip last weekend.
Yeah.
And when we first booked it, I was like, oh God, this is kind of overwhelming. Like it's going to be the holiday season. It's going to be like, there's going to be so much going on. But it was so good for the soul. Like it was so freaking good. And I wondered if I would feel guilty like leaving this weekend. But we booked it in enough advance that like I just couldn't commit to anything else, that weekend. And it was just so much fun. Like we laughed so much and I like just feel so like, I don't know, it was just rejuvenating in like a different kind of way.
Once you're there, it's so fun. But the lead up is always a little nerve wracking, especially around like holiday season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When you said you were going on a girls trip in December, I was like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But
it was short.
It's nice. It's like a little bit of a nice pause to get away. And
it was so fun.
So that's good.
Highly recommend that.
Yeah. And New York at Christmas time would be so fun.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We had a blast.
Because you guys have done the Biltmore.
Yeah, we did the Biltmore 2 years ago. That was also amazing. If you have an opportunity to go there on Christmas time, I mean, it's so freaking beautiful. And yeah, that was so fun too. And not too far from us. Yeah. Like we drove there and it was like a 6-hour drive, I want to say. It wasn't bad at all. Morgan flew in from upstate New York. And then this time we flew, but we got pretty good flights on Spirit. They were direct and they really weren't that expensive. And then we found a room. I was very, very nervous that we were going to walk in and it was going to be the size of a closet because I feel like the pictures of hotel rooms in New York, like they use that wide angle lens and they make it look a lot bigger. And there were 5 of us, but it actually was a pretty, I mean, not a big room, but for New York, I feel like it was like a decent size. Yeah. And it all worked out. But yeah, we ate and shopped and drank and laughed and had so much fun. I'm so glad we made it happen, even though it was like during the busiest time of year.
I think that's another thing to remember is like, we are doing a favorite things, but we're doing it at the beginning of January with some friends because we're like, it doesn't have to be December when we're crazy. Like,
also, or January is so depressing. Like,
right, we're like
the fun
something
stuff
to do.
coming.
I know, and even with our work holiday party, like we're gonna do our get together beginning of January because it's just so crazy, and it's like we'd rather enjoy it than make it all insane. For that.
Everybody's busy enough, and then like I always get like the Christmas like depression, like the post Christmas like. Oh, now it's just cold and dreary and dark for 2 months.
Are you one of those people that keeps your tree up till like February?
No, I take that shit down on the day.
Me too.
I literally am. And that's why I like to put it up early.
Me too. I'm a beginning of November girl. Yeah, and everyone's like, so early. I'm like, no, because I want it down after.
And I'm excited about it when it's early. Me too. Like, I'm like, oh, it's almost Christmas time. But then
once Christmas is over, I'm like, clean it up.
No, get it out of my freaking face.
My mom was like, that's scroogey. I'm like, no, I want it done. I want it done.
I mean, I'll like sometimes wait a day or two.
Me too. But to be fair, we're leaving the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to come home to this mess.
Yes.
So I said to Hunter, I'm like, the afternoon of Christmas when the kids are playing with all their stuff.
Yeah.
We are putting this tree away.
Yeah.
And I didn't go gung-ho on decorations this year. I mean, we did the tree and like some wreaths and stuff, but it will be fairly easy to clean up.
Yeah.
And honestly, last year, we took the ornaments off of our tree and put it in a bin, and then we kept the tree up and put it in the basement. I'm going to do it again this
That's
year.
what we don't take it down, or
it makes it so much better.
And I shouldn't say we left on Christmas Day last year, and we're doing that this year too. But last year, my mother-in-law for Christmas came over and took all of our Christmas decorations down for us.
It's like a godsend.
It was the best gift ever, and I haven't mentioned it to her again yet for this year. But I'm like, I just want her to know that was insanely amazing.
Yeah,
like,
that's amazing.
We just came home and it was all put away. She kept the trees up, just put them in the basement. She like got everything in bins, and we came home and it was like decluttered and amazing. I was like, oh my God, that was like the best gift.
It's like a weight off your shoulders when you get home.
Yes.
Because the thought of having to do it all, you're like,
yeah. Because if she's not going to do that, which I wouldn't expect her to, I'll have to do it on the 3rd, which is so late. I'm going to hate it. But I'll be real motivated to get it out.
Yeah. I may like start packing some stuff up Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, I love it. I like to be packed up. But
I know.
Isn't it like said that you're supposed to leave your tree up through January or something?
I don't know.
I think that's
like bad luck to take
no,
it down
I don't know
earlier.
if that's like the I don't know.
Like
I've never
Catholic
done it.
thing to do.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We always had a real tree growing up, and it was like dead as shit by Christmas. So we always would just throw it on the bonfire and have a bonfire and burn it. But
yeah, we're a fake tree fam.
Yeah, I am now.
I'm like, I don't need those needles falling. And how are we watering this? We got to feed. I'm like, no. Oh my God. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Although I think it would be like cool, like the experience of going to pick it out as a family and stuff like would be really fun. Yeah. I just don't want to have to care for it after. I mean, I can barely keep like a snake plant alive. I actually can't. What do we mean barely? I don't keep any plants alive. So if I think I'm going to keep a tree alive for a month, absolutely
not. That's another thing that I think we put pressure on ourselves for around this time of year is like, I feel like how we were raised doing Christmas, we kind of feel this pressure to like do that for our kids. And like, I totally remember the first time Peter and I got a fake tree, I was like feeling bad about it because my dad always did like a real tree and we decorated it and stuff. But I also think that's kind of hard. Like my dad was always so gung ho on Christmas. He did like so much, he did the tons of sugar cookies with my grandma's recipe. We decorated the tree. We went and got the tree. I mean, it was like so much. So there for a while, like I kind of carried guilt that I didn't do all of those things too.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, we're making our own like little traditions, whatever that looks like. But I definitely think that there's like a little bit of a pressure based on how you were raised experiencing the holidays to kind of like make it just as magical as you remember it then.
Totally.
But in reality, they probably didn't really feel like they were making it that magical.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Like, it's like, just remember that like your kids are going to think it's magical as long as you just spend time with them.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, the reason I loved the cookie thing with my dad is because I got to do it with him.
Totally.
It wasn't that like, he was trying to
make the world's best cookie, but like, it was the time spent.
It was like he just like spent time with us doing that. So that's the memory that stands out to me about that thing. So I try to remind myself of that too. Like, I mean, we could be like coloring a picture of Santa and like if I did it with them, I'm sure that they would like love that. It doesn't have to be some over the top thing.
Totally. I think that's true. It's just, I feel like it's a hard balance to like remember like what all is needed, important, and remembering that like we're supposed to just be like enjoying this time of year. It's not supposed to be another chore.
Which is easier said than done, but
totally.
Yeah.
And I think I always grapple with like when we were talking about traveling for the holidays and stuff, it's like that's what makes a holiday so great, like sometimes being around family and like the tradition of that and like so it's like you feel guilty complaining about like, oh, there's just so much back and forth and this and that, but it's just, I think it's because there is so much pressure for it to be that exact time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the kids don't know the difference.
No, they just are like excited to spend time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, get some presents. But
we were going through the store the other day, and my youngest was like, "I want this, this, this." Like, do you even know what you're saying you want?
I know.
It was funny though because I volunteered at my oldest's classroom today, and he's been asking me for this map puzzle that he has at school.
Yeah.
And I was looking on Google, and he kept being like, "That's not it. That's not it." And I was like, "What is this puzzle?" So I said to his teacher today, "I'm like, please pull out this map puzzle, and I need to take a picture of it because I'm like." We've been asking Santa for it, and I'm afraid to get the wrong map puzzle.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, tell me what to do.
I thought you were going to say it wasn't even like a map. It was like something else.
No, it was a map. It was a map. He was right. It was a map. But I was like,
that's awesome.
There was nothing like to write home about it. I don't know what it was, but he really wants this map puzzle. So he's the map puzzle.
I mean, that's a pretty good thing for him to be like fixated on. At least he's not like, I want an airplane.
Oh, he's really into puzzles right now.
4-wheeler.
I remember a day where I was like, he's never going to be into puzzles. He's not the type that sits still. So I was like, sits still or does anything like that. And I was like, puzzles are never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
He is so obsessed with puzzles right now.
Yeah.
We have bought so many puzzles and Santa's bringing lots of puzzles. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, it's easy.
I'm just laughing because it just popped in my head. My mom or dad a few years ago found one of my sister's old Christmas lists.
Oh my God. We save ours every year.
Hysterical. You should, because it was the funniest freaking. I wish I could like remember everything that was on it, but it was.
That is one of our
so insane
traditions at like TJ Maxx. Before I had kids, I found this little. It's like Santa's mailbox, and
Cute.
it's a mailbox.
Oh, we have one of those.
Yeah, and then every year we put their note in an envelope and we date it. Put their name and the year.
I love that.
And actually, the other day, Cooper opened it. Was carrying one around. I'm like, put it back. Do not open that. But it's going to be cute to like read it back later. The things that they ask for.
I'm going to have to dig it up. I'm going to have to text my sisters and I'll like post it when we post this podcast because it's like hysterical and it actually brought me peace because sometimes I'm like, God, my kids are so spoiled. They think I'm going to get them like a car, but like we were not spoiled at all. And like the shit she had on there, it was like $1 million, a new creek in the backyard. It was like literally so outlandish. We were cracking.
I know, but that's like some of the fun of like writing a Christmas list. It's like you're just ridiculous.
I wish I had always saved them like that. I'm going to start doing that. That's a really good idea.
It's cute just to see like the different things they put on it. And now Cooper's like, got about 5 of them. I mean, granted, the first like year or two was me writing them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's cute. And I can't wait till they get older and start writing stuff like that.
So funny.
Like, it's going to be adorable.
So funny.
I know. It's cute. Right. Well, anyways, all that to say that we hope everybody is surviving the holidays. Yep. And remember that
if you're struggling, it's hard for everybody. But
yeah, try to
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Say no to things if you feel like you can. And we're right there with you.
Yeah. And today is, I was trying to think of the date. We'll probably have one more podcast before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then there will be a hiatus until after the new year. So as always, review, like, subscribe, and we will see you for one more podcast before the new year. So
and gift card promos going on this week if you need last minute gifts on our website. So check that out and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.